Development Department, Government of Maharashtra. Uh, MAVIM is Women Development Corporation of Maharashtra, and it is nodal agency for women empowerment. We are working through self-help group model. Today we'll be talking about our e-business platform. If I talk about MAVIM, then we have got around 1.4 lakh self-help groups, a very robust network, discipline, good leadership is present over there. And women are mostly they are taking credit and they are involved in various business activities. If we see, we have got around 3,400 crore worth of credit linkages on these 16 lakh women, and repayment rate is very good, which is 99%. Just 0.5% NPAs are there. And if we see like third party evaluation of our previous program, then it says that around 65% women could double their income, and 80% of women are running their own businesses. Next, please, Varun. Varun, next slide, please. Yeah. So as we see, all very well know that SHG movement generally faces various kind of challenges, and the most important and most tough one is getting market for their produce. They are like, if I talk about my SHG members also, I've got around 16 lakh women with us in our MAVIM Women Development Corporation, and they are producing various products. But the basic problem is getting markets for those products. The scale is very limited. They have got very less negotiation power. Always information asymmetry is there. Middleman problem is a huge problem. They are not very professional. They actually produce whatever they know. It is about their skill, their heritage, their history. But what is demanded by market, we generally never go by that route. And especially if we talk about women, so their acknowledgement of their work, especially if I say about farming sector, so most of the work we all know that is being done by women. But if we think about a farmer, then always an image of a man with some equipment comes in our mind. So the acknowledgement of that work, because that trading system at the trading level or many other steps, the whole value chain, if we see acknowledgement of work being done by women, they never get acknowledgement of their work. Then these kind of issues, challenges were always present with our SHG women. And finally came the unprecedented crisis of COVID. So it was all increased, all enhanced these problems. Then huge problem were being faced by these SHG women. They either could not work, lockdown was there, transportation was a big problem, and most importantly, they could not sell their products, or distress sale was happening. And at this tough time, our officers from Women and Child Department, today I have with me Mr. Varun, Mr. Karan, Mr. Jodhkar, they are present over here. And in this tough scenario, they started working on these issues. Actually, we were trying to work on these issues earlier also, but during COVID, then we tried to convert this crisis into opportunity. So the problems which we were facing, these officers, they worked on this issue, they worked very hard, and then they came out with a solution, which is our e-business platform, where the SHG members, now they are able to sell their products. They are able to earn better rates, which were present at pre-COVID period. Next, please. Yeah. So what is this MAVIM e-business platform? If we see what was the system before, there was a system of paper-based manual data collection. Then commodity mapping exercise, generally we do once in a year. So very difficult thing was to meet market demand. So demand was there, but we were never able to match that demand and that supply required. Real-time data was always missing. So there was always a difficulty in attracting buyers. This system, which we have developed now, MAVIM e-business platform, it is a very unique system. It captures the data and aggregates in real time on a dashboard. It manages the supply of agricultural. We started with agriculture, then now agriculture, goatry, poultry. Three things which we have already covered. So we are capturing type of produce, variety of produce, quantity, location, everything is being captured and visualized. Then second thing is, it not only captures the detail of the produce, but it also captures complete farmer profile. So it covers size of land, type of land, availability of crop insurance. So it covers whole complete farmer profile also. Then not only this, basic problem which generally small farmers face is the availability of storehouses, the storage facilities. So this system also captures the logistic planning also. Now I request Mr. Varun, so maybe he can take over the PPT and he can talk about how does this system work.
Thank you, ma'am. So first of all, we have a woman farmer who will give basic information such as the size of her land, the products that can be supplied. So all of this is given to a MAVIM frontline worker who's in the same village as the farmer. This frontline worker records this in an app that can be operated without network or internet. And the forms were designed in Marathi, which is the language used by the people in our state. This information is linked to a dashboard in real time, and aggregated as well as disaggregated information can be visualized. Now, based on the insights from the dashboard, our state and district officers can plan an aggregated supply with various companies and institutions. Now, because we are selling products in bulk and directly linking farmers and the institutions, these women farmers can get a better rate for their products. So we'll just quickly show you all how does this really work in detail. So this is our app where you can fill a form. So we're selecting a blank form. We've prepared different forms for different districts. She enter. So the CRP, the frontline worker's name is entered. The date is filled. The taluka, the institution, the village, and the farmer's name is then filled in. The location can be mapped just by a simple click. So this is a multi-select option. As an example, we are selecting vegetables and pulses. The land size is mapped as well as is there crop insurance. These are details about the warehousing facilities. Now we select the vegetables that can be supplied by the farmer and we fill in the total quantity as well as a variety and do the same thing for pulses. And that's it. Now all of this is in offline mode. It's only when the form needs to be sent to the server is when you require internet connection. So she's saving the form and the form is being sent. So we'll move on to the dashboard. Now the information that is filled in real time, filled in by the farmer is sort of visualized in real time on this dashboard. So the first page is a data entry status for monitoring progress, where at an aggregated or disaggregated level, we can see the progress of how many forms have been submitted. The stock of produce that can be supplied this month is also visible. So this is where the commodities can be selected. And here we can look at the distribution by districts and talukas as well as villages. The location is tracked as well. And larger the size of the bubble means the quantity is greater. This can be further drilled down as well to various levels for better logistics planning. And the same happens for other commodities as well, for goatry as well as for poultry. Based on the cropping pattern and estimation of what would be the output at the end of the season, this is tracked as well. A complete farmer's profile is also generated based on the forms. Similarly, access to warehouse facilities is also tracked. Now we'll move on to the governance processes that we put in place. So, first of all, I'd like to point out we went about this implementation very systematically. So, it was first piloted in 2 districts. And once we saw the benefit as well as understood some of the potential implementation hurdles, it was then scaled up. So, first of all, we were very clear that the forms should not require any internet to be filled and they should be developed in Marathi. So, this led to greater user comfort and reach. Now, while developing the forms and the dashboard, we had multiple feedback sessions with our frontline workers, our district and regional officers. And a lot of their inputs were actually incorporated. So it was a complete collective exercise. And they felt great because they could see their feedback incorporated. Now the platform has greater flexibility because you can make edits without disrupting the current operations. And in order to ensure greater data quality, we put 2 types of checks in place. The first, we put in some validation conditions that were built into the form. So, for example, if a farmer has planted 2 crops in the season, then the sum of the land size entered for both crops should be less than the total land size. And also, once a form is sent by a frontline worker, she doesn't have the permission to edit the form. So we've provided separate login credentials to supervisors for validating the data. Now, through a cascading TOT model, we trained around 4,000 frontline workers. And we also communicated to our officers that training batch sizes shouldn't exceed more than 65 to 70. So that even though it took a while, we were clear that we didn't want to compromise on the trainings. Now, to streamline the process, we also communicated to our officials as to what should be the activities conducted every month. And every month, because there is a turnaround of the farmer's product, so she sees the benefit in providing her data to MAVIM. So there is a positive reinforcement cycle that is created because the more a farmer sees the benefit, the more she will be ready to provide her data, and more data equals greater scope for sale. So she will see a benefit, and this positive cycle keeps going on. Now I request Ms. Shraddha ma'am to talk about the benefits that we've achieved in the platform.
So these are some of the examples which we have achieved during past months. This example which we can see on screen. So this is of Amravati district. This is about sale of goats. As we said that we have actually captured the data for agriculture produced in goatry and poultry. So this example we have taken because this is about which they call it as Savan ka Mahina. So there, if we see, if we compare it with last year, so sale was almost negligible. So this year we tried with this app, and around 128 goats in the month of August, these were sold, and rupees 5.5 lakh they could get. 74 women, we tried with 74 women, and they could get 20% higher rate also. So pre-intervention the rate was around 3500, now they could get 4200 rupees per goat, and that also in the season when zero sale was expected. The other example is the vegetable supplies, which we could do during lockdown. This again, there was a success that we did integration of rural and urban self-help groups, because there was a huge demand for from residential colonies of urban areas like Mumbai, Pune, and Nagpur. So they required vegetables at doorstep, clean, fresh vegetables at their doorsteps. And our rural self-help group members, they had produce with them. They had agricultural produce, various kinds of vegetables they were growing, but they were not able to sell. So integration of rural and urban SHGs we did, and supply of around 2,500 tons of vegetables. It is an example of Thane and Mumbai. So this much of sale could be done because of this app, and around 62.5 lakhs rupees they could make. Next, please. Varun, next slide, please.
Yes, ma'am. Just having a little trouble.
Yeah. So this is what we feel what would be the way forward. So one, we can think about our short term approach. So there we feel that we'll increase the numbers. Till now I think we have done around 3.5 lakh farmers information have been added to our system. And we think that around 7.5 lakh members we will be able to add in another 2-3 months. So there would be a whole database of around 10 lakh members. Then product categories we are increasing. Currently, agri produce, goatry, poultries we have already captured. Now we are moving towards capturing dairy products, and then later stage in the second phase we will capture non-farm produce also, craft products and all. Everything will be captured in this system. Long term, if we see long term, it will be very very helpful, because it will help setting up a marketplace. So companies can register with MAVIM, and then they can raise their purchase request. So directly coordination and communication will be done between customers and producers. Then another thing is, it will be a revenue model, self earning revenue model. We can just sell this kind of software which we have developed to other formations who require this. Or it will be self revenue generating, like if somebody registers or downloading of data, these kind of mechanisms we are developing, which will help us earning some revenue also. Then based on collected data, now we have talked about the forward linkages, but we are trying to cover the backward linkages also. So it is about the seeds, because we will be able to negotiate for the next season's seed supplies, advisory services. So everything will be covered and captured, and will help covering all these sectors also. Then warehouse linkages, which is a big problem for poor farmers, the smaller ones. So that also will be targeted. And a very important thing is, we will link it with other self-help group softwares also. So just not the economic development, but how does it translate into social development also. So we'll see if somebody is having, like, we are capturing a farmer's profile through this app. So if we have a specific profile of a farmer, so we'll see how much is he borrowing, is she or he borrowing, and then how much is he earning, and how much is going towards the education, and these kind of measure parameters also we'll try to capture. So it will communicate with other softwares also, and ultimately I feel that it will be a very very helpful and a revolutionary app for the self-help group movement. Thank you very much, sir.
Jury questions.
Yes, madam, it is a very good project, particularly to empower women in the self-help group. My suggestion is that you also include medicinal plants in the product portfolio, because they have high value as compared to other products. It will definitely enhance their income drastically. Second issue is that you have said that data is entered in Marathi. True,
Yes.
but since it is on internet, so I think translation side by side can be done in other languages to capture more customers. What is your view on that?
Yes, sir. Very true, sir. And thank you very much, sir, for the suggestion. We'll incorporate medicinal plants also. We'll make that category also, and definitely it will give them more revenue than the normal agri produce. Very well noted, sir. And the other thing which you said, sir, true, sir. We are also trying to cover at least English and Marathi both in this.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
we'll
At
do
least
it, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Definitely. It will give greater market access to the whole
True, sir.
customer profile.
No, true,
So
sir.
this is my
We'll do it,
suggestion.
sir. Yes.
Definitely very good.
Thank you, sir.
It seems to be a very good initiative. And
Thank you, sir.
I'm wondering, I think I missed it. Um, how do you make the farmer apply? Because they won't be, savvy enough to apply on their own. So number one, how do you help the farmer apply on this? Number two, who manages the backend infrastructure? Who takes care of the software and all that?
Sir, regarding the information capturing, so our community resource persons are filling, because one thing is data should be very, very correct. So in first phase, we have trained our community resource persons, and our Federation of Self-Help Group, CMRCs, we have created a supervisor category over there in our CMRCs. So they are supervising the capturing of data, and it is being captured by CRPs. They have been trained by these officers, sir, like Varun, Karan, and they have given training to those community resource persons how to fill the data, and we have created some systems in the system itself. One is the majority of things are through drop down methods, not much is to be filled manually. And the other thing is, like, if total land size, if a woman is giving, suppose 100 gunthas we have taken in this, so if she takes 100 acres, suppose 1 acre, and half acre goes to one commodity, then the other commodity should be below half acre. So these kind of self check mechanisms are there, and the other things are also there, like if we have captured 5-year data. We are actually taking, so if it is going, suppose 15% plus minus from that data, so system will give a red flag. So data is being captured through our CRPs. But next stage, we think that farmers could be trained also, so it can go to a little next stage also, but that we'll see after the success of this phase. Second thing about backend, sir, I think Varun would be able to give the answer properly.
Yes, sir. So thank you for your very pertinent questions. And regarding the backend infrastructure, so this is maintained in-house at the state level in the MAVIM head office. So we have our officers that are trained in managing the infrastructure, and it's all maintained in-house.
See, but I mean, who pays the cost for this?
So there are two components to the system. The first is a component to sort of uh, capture the information using the app and store the information on a server. That is the first. The second is a dashboard. Now, because we used open source softwares for this, so there was absolutely no cost. The only cost involved in the program was to was using a business insight tool for the dashboard. So inherently, these are all using open source softwares, so we didn't incur any cost. And all of the server and all are very secure and they're maintained.
You and Shraddha madam,
Sir.
you represent what? The state government or the some
Yes,
kind of a?
state government, sir. We are from Women and Child Development Department. I am Managing Director MD for Mahila Arthik Vikas Mahamandal. It's State's Women Development Corporation of Maharashtra, and these are program officers from Women and Child Department, sir.
Okay. And have you also thought of using the existing e-commerce entities such as Flipkart or Amazon?
Yes, sir. I'm happy to share, sir, that we are the first government department to do tie-up with Amazon. So 2 years ago, we did tie-up for our SHG produce with Amazon, their Amazon platform, Saheli platform. But we are not getting very great response over there, sir, because so many challenges are there. It's not very easy for our self-help group members to cope up with the e-commerce system. So So actually, practically, sometimes because maintaining that much of inventory, if we don't maintain a specific inventory for specific days, then immediately black flags they are appearing on our product site or something like that. And working capital is always a very crucial thing for self-help group members. So especially during COVID, uh, problems are there to maintain inventory. So we are actually fighting with those kind of things right now. But we are trying to capture those platforms also, sir, like Amazon and Flipkart also, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Sir.
Shivam, can we go to the next one?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very